My sister texted me saying this year's celebration would be child-free because finances were tight. I agreed, trusting her. Then I stumbled across her Facebook page. The neighbor's kids, our cousin's kids, a lavish catered spread, a professional entertainer, and the whole family gathered together. My son, catching a glimpse, asked, "Didn't they say no party?" I grabbed my phone, snapped a photo of the envelope containing their rent payment, and sent it to her. It came back marked, "Return to sender." 40 minutes later, my dad was blowing up my phone with calls. 3 weeks before my mom's birthday, I got a brief, breezy text from my sister, Lisa. It was casual, like she was asking me to bring chips to a picnic. "Hey, just a heads up, mom's birthday this year is adults only. Kids are awesome, but money's short and she wants a relaxed evening. Cool with you? No excuses, no apologies, just a flippant message like this was standard." I stared at it for a while. Lisa had a history of offhand remarks that rubbed me wrong, but this one stung deeper. I was in my kitchen when it came through. My son Jake was at the table doing math homework, and Ellie was doodling on the floor by the fridge. Looking at them, I wondered, how do I break this to them? Grandma's birthday was a yearly highlight. They loved the cake, the cousins, the noise. Now I had to tell them it was off because of budget issues. I thought about asking for more details, but held back. Lisa had been living in my basement for 8 months, rent-free. I covered groceries for her family of 3 plus my own. Her daughter went to the same daycare as mine, and I footed that bill too. She borrowed my car, used my streaming accounts, everything. If anyone had a right to claim financial strain, it was her. So I let it go, assuming she meant it about the no-party plan. I didn't tell the kids. I didn't even tell my wife until 2 days before when she asked about Mom's birthday plans. I relayed Lisa's excuse, adults only, tight budget low-key night. She gave me a skeptical look but didn't push. We took the kids to the park instead and got them ice cream cones. That Saturday morning, I wasn't thinking about it until after lunch when I opened Facebook to kill time. There it was, Lisa's Faux album, 43 images labeled, "Best Mom's Birthday Ever." Party red birthday, my gut twisted as I clicked. First image, Mom holding a cocktail beaming in front of a shiny balloon display. Second image, a group photo with Lisa, Mom, Dad, 4 cousins, their kids, and even the neighbor's toddler on Lisa's lap. Third image, a table loaded with catered Italian dishes, lasagna, chicken parmesan, garlic bread, from the restaurant we always went to for Mom's birthday before Lisa moved in. Fourth image, a magician in a sparkly vest performing for a crowd of kids. Fifth image, Lisa's daughter getting her face painted like a butterfly. Sixth image, a bounce house in the backyard. I kept scrolling, my stomach churning. Over a dozen kids were in those photos, none of them mine. Jake came up behind me, peering at my phone. He squinted and asked the question that broke something inside me. "Didn't they say there wasn't a party?" I didn't answer, just turned off my phone and stared out the window. After a moment, I stood, went to my office, and pulled out the white envelope I prepared for Lisa every month. Inside was $950, her rent, which she hadn't asked for in ages. It just appeared on the 5th like clockwork. But this time, holding it, I didn't feel generous. I felt like a fool. I grabbed a marker, scratched out her name, and scrawled "Return to sender" in bold letters across the front. I took a picture and sent it to her. No words, no explanation, just the image. 40 minutes later, my phone started buzzing. Lisa, then Dad, then Lisa again, then a text from Dad. "What's going on? Call me." I ignored them all. I knew exactly what was happening, and I was done pretending otherwise. For the first time, I wasn't going to smooth things over for her. She'd made her choice, and now I'd make mine. I didn't pick up any calls, not from Lisa, not from Dad. 3 hours later, she texted, "Can you not make this a big deal?" It was just simpler without extra kids, nothing personal. 5 minutes later. "Also, what's with the rent envelope? Are you upset about something else?" I didn't reply. I was finished justifying myself to someone who never tried to understand me. At 8 p.m., I heard 3 sharp knocks, Lisa's signature. I opened the door and there she was, arms crossed, wearing a shirt from the party with "Mom's Birthday Extravaganza 2025 in glittery letters. I just looked at her. She took a deep breath, using that fake calm tone she always pulled when she was about to spin a story. It was a small gathering that got out of hand. Mom wanted it chill, but you know how things snowball. "It wasn't some plot against you." I asked one question. "Why did you say there was no party?" Her mouth opened, then closed like she was sifting through lies. She finally said, "Your kids are noisy. They're all over the place. Mom just wanted one day without that." I stayed silent, staring. She added, "You're blowing this way out of proportion." This wasn't about you. That was the moment it clicked. This wasn't about the party or my kids. It was about control. For 8 months, Lisa had lived off me like it was her right, rent, groceries, bills, all covered. I never asked for repayment, never made her feel small for needing help. Yet she decided my kids didn't deserve a slice of cake. So I told her I was done bankrolling her life. Rent was her responsibility now. If she wanted to stay another month, she'd have to pay. She laughed, actually laughed, and called me petty, said I must hate my life to get mad over this. I stepped back and closed the door without another word. The next morning, she was gone. Not entirely. Her stuff was still in the basement, but she wasn't there. I figured she was sulking at Mom's or staying with a friend. That evening, my dad showed up unannounced. I was in the garage when my wife called. "John, your dad's here." I walked in, and he was holding a six-pack like this was just a casual guy talk. He started with, "You're not really kicking Lisa out over a birthday party, are you?" That's how he framed it, like I was throwing a fit. I asked if he knew about the party. Of course he did. He was in half the photos. He brushed it off, saying he just followed Lisa's lead. "You know how she is. We didn't want trouble." I asked if my kids were trouble. He didn't answer, just said Lisa had enough on her plate and it was unfair to add more. I asked if he knew what I'd been doing for her all year. No response. Then he said something that stuck with me. "She's family. You don't punish family for their flaws." I didn't argue or yell. I just nodded and went back to the garage. That night, I changed the Wi-Fi password, disconnected her devices, canceled the food delivery service she'd been using, and stopped the auto payment for her daughter's daycare. I didn't tell her, I just did it. The next morning, I heard her stomping around downstairs. She texted, "Asterisk, did you cut off the Wi-Fi? Seriously?" No reply. She went quiet for 2 days. Then on Thursday, I came home from work, and the basement was half empty. Her clothes, her daughter's toys, the food from the fridge all gone. She didn't say goodbye or thank you. She left one thing, that glittery birthday shirt, crumpled on the couch. I should have felt relieved, but I just felt hollow. I knew this wasn't over. Lisa stayed silent for a week. I think she expected me to cave, maybe send money with a asterisk, "Let's move past this," where family asterisk note. That's how it always went. She'd push, I'd get mad, then I'd feel guilty and fix it. Not this time. I kept the basement locked. My wife suggested clearing it out, but I held off, not because I thought Lisa would return, but because I sensed a bigger fight coming. I was right. The storm hit the following Sunday. We were eating dinner when Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Then she texted, "We need to talk. Don't do this to your sister. She's struggling enough." I didn't respond. 10 minutes later, another text. "You're not cutting her off over cake." I put my phone face down and kept eating. My wife gave me a look, and I said I'd explain later. By bedtime, I had 5 missed calls from Mom, 3 from Dad, and 1 from Lisa, her first since she left. I ignored them all. The next morning, Dad showed up again, no six-pack this time. He walked in without waiting, looking angry. "This needs to stop now," he said. "She's your sister. She needed help and you gave it. Now you're the bad guy over a party." "That's small." I said what I'd been holding in for weeks. It wasn't just a party. It was a choice. She excluded my kids from something they were part of, lied about it, used me, and you backed her up. He laughed like I was ridiculous. "You think you're the victim? Lisa's got no job, no stability. You think this was easy for her?" I walked to the kitchen, pulled out a folder from the drawer, and set it on the counter. Every receipt, every payment, every transfer I'd made for Lisa over 8 months. Over $7,800. I said that's what I spent on someone who couldn't let my son have cake. He didn't touch the folder. "You're too angry to think straight," he said. "You're making this bigger than it is." I asked if Mom knew my kids were excluded. He hesitated, then nodded. "She didn't want to upset you. That was it for me. For years, my parents treated Lisa like she was fragile and me like I was built to carry the load. Lisa got sympathy, I got guilt. Lisa got excuses, I got expectations." I told him to leave. That night, I changed the basement lock. Had a locksmith rekey the old apartment I'd been paying rent for as Lisa's backup. Canceled the college fund I'd started for her daughter, and transferred the daycare credit to my daughter's account. I made it final. Then I sent my parents one last message. "If you want to be in my life, respect my choices." No more guilt, no more defending her, no more lies. My kids will never be left out again. "If you think that's petty, we don't need to talk for a while." Dad didn't reply. Mom said, "We raised you better than this." That's when I knew they didn't really know me. 2 days later, the silence felt strange, like the calm before another wave. My wife said maybe they finally get it. I wanted to believe her. Then Thursday night, the doorbell rang at 10 p.m. Through the peephole, I saw Mom holding a baking dish like food could fix this. I cracked the door but didn't let her in. She asked to come inside to talk. I said no. She started with a speech about family unity and how grudges ruin legacies, but after 5 minutes she got to the point. Lisa's staying with us now. You left her no choice. I almost laughed. No choice. She did every choice. Then she dropped a bombshell. She tried to get a job last week, used your address. They did a background check and found her eviction from last year. She didn't get the job. I was stunned. What eviction? Mom looked uneasy. Last December before she moved in with you. We helped her keep it quiet. She begged us not to tell you. I hadn't known. Lisa said she just needed a temporary place while she looked for something better. I trusted her. Mom's voice turned bitter. You took everything from her, John. I was speechless. I'd paid her bills, fed her kid, gave up my home space for nearly a year, and now I was the one who ruined her. After she left, I told my wife everything, even the things I'd hidden to avoid stress. How Lisa used my credit card without asking, how her daughter used Ellie's tablet after breaking her own, how Lisa got me to pay for a therapy session she canceled to buy concert tickets. My wife wasn't shocked. She just asked, what's next? I said, I'm not finished. The next day, I pulled the eviction records. Lisa had used a fake reference to get that apartment, listing me without my knowledge and routing calls to a burner phone she answered. That didn't bother me as much as discovering a $1,400 electric bill in my name. She'd used my info to set up utilities when she moved in, and I thought it was just internet. She stopped paying in July. The company said I was liable. That was it. I spent the afternoon collecting every piece of evidence, emails, texts, screenshots. I wasn't just cutting her off. I was shielding myself from whatever mess she'd pull me into next. Then I got an email from Jake's school. Lisa had tried to pick him up that afternoon, claiming I'd asked her to because I was overwhelmed. The school called me right away, but I'd missed it while on the phone with the utility company. They didn't let her take him, thank goodness. But the fact that she tried, that was the line. She wasn't just selfish, she was dangerous. That night I called my lawyer and started the paperwork: restraining order, financial dispute, unauthorized account use. The next time I'd see Lisa, it wouldn't be at a family gathering, it'd be in court. The legal process moved quickly. My lawyer, used to family disputes, didn't blink at the school incident or the utility bill. He just asked for copies and outlined the next steps. 2 days later, Lisa was served. Within an hour, she was at my door, yelling from the sidewalk while my kids were inside. I told her once to leave or I'd call the police. She kept shouting, trying to draw me out. I shut the door. That night, Dad left a voicemail. We're not that kind of family, John. That hit me, not because it was true, but because he believed it. We were exactly that family, where loyalty was demanded, not earned, where guilt was leverage, where the rule was to protect Lisa at all costs. I used to think I was too rigid, too unforgiving. Now I saw I was just the only one not lying to myself. The next week was calm. Lisa seemed to realize she couldn't touch me anymore. The school updated their pickup list. The utility company froze the account and agreed to remove my name, and the daycare account was closed. Then Mom showed up again, no dish this time, just standing in the driveway, arms crossed. I spoke through the doorbell camera. She asked if I was really pursuing the restraining order. I said yes. She asked what that would do to the family. I said nothing. This family broke a long time ago. She stood there, then said, "This isn't you. You're not cruel." That stung because I wasn't cruel. I was just done being everyone's safety net, done letting my kindness be used against me, done pretending peace mattered more than my kids' safety. I didn't hear from them for a while until the Sunday after the paperwork was filed. Jake was helping me wash the car, Ellie was on her scooter, and my wife was out shopping. A normal day. Then Jake asked, "Is Grandma mad at me?" I stopped, asked why he thought that. He said, "Because we didn't go to her party and now you don't talk to her." I told him it wasn't his fault, that grown-ups sometimes make bad choices and sometimes people need distance to stay safe. Then he asked, "Will we see her again?" I didn't answer because I didn't know. That night, a letter from Lisa was stuffed in our mailbox, no envelope, just folded paper. 3 lines, "You win. They're on your side now. Hope it was worth it." No apology, just blame in the same handwriting she used in high school to forge Mom's signature. Nothing had changed. I didn't reply. The restraining order went through. Lisa was barred from my home, work, and kids' school. The utility bill was cleared from my name. Her daughter's daycare was closed out. It was done. The quiet that followed felt odd, like something was missing, not peace, but the constant crisis. The next Saturday, my cousin Ben called, first time in a year, saw what happened. "You did the right thing." No drama, just acknowledgement. 2 days later, my aunt invited us to her son's birthday dinner. You and the kids are welcome. No games, just family. That's when I realized how far this had spread. My parents had been telling people I cut them off over cake. Lisa spun herself as the victim, saying I evicted a single mom and took her support. But some saw the truth, and others were starting to ask questions. I didn't defend myself or chase them down. I was building a life, not a case. Then a week later, as we were heading to the dinner, I saw it. A public Facebook post from Mom. Some people can't forgive, but I pray for them, especially those teaching their kids the same. It was up for 3 hours before she deleted it. I didn't respond. I blocked her dad and Lisa, deleted every photo of Lisa from my phone, archived our messages, and unfollowed mutual friends playing both sides. I closed the door, not in anger, but in peace. That was the real victory. Not the fights, not the cutoffs, not the legal steps, but letting go of the role they'd assigned me, the idea of family where someone always had to lose. We didn't go back to the way things were. We moved forward without them, and we were better for it.